Welcome back. Weak for the markets, now well below that 8,300 mark. We've extended our losses down close to about 0.7, 0.8% on the frontline indices, and the mid-cap index is now down close to about 1.7%. But we've got the management of KC International waiting by to speak with us. Vimal Kejriwal, the MD and CEO of the company, now joins in. Afternoon, Mr. Kejriwal, and thanks so much for joining in. When we spoke to you post your Q3 earnings, at that time the outlook seemed a bit murky. Your revenues were down on year-on-year basis. Your margins had fallen to close to about 5.1%. Your order inflows had also declined by 45% on a year-on-year basis. You'd seen some weakness in revenues from T&D as well as railways. How is this Jan to March quarter panned out for you all so far in terms of revenues, margins as well as orders?
See, normally our Jan to March quarter, being the last quarter of the financial year, not only for us but also for many of our clients like Power Grid and state utilities, is always the best quarter. On an average, if you look at the history, we have been doing almost 40 to 45% of our revenues and maybe margins also in Q4. This time the difference also is that in the first 3 quarters we did not see a significant inflow of orders, even though there were tenders. Now suddenly we are finding that most of the clients, including Power Grid and the utilities, want to award those tenders which they had floated a few months back. So we do expect that Q4 would be very good, both in terms of revenues as well as in terms of order inflow.
What is the amount of orders you've booked already so far, and given that you're seeing a lot more momentum from state utilities, could you give us a sense of how much they could go on to contribute to your revenues?
In this quarter, I think we have announced roughly orders of almost 2,000 crores. Some of them were announced along with the December results and some in last month results. So at that point of time, we had also said that we have got 3,000 crores of L1 orders, L1 where we have not yet received the formal orders. And now we are in the process of receiving those orders. We have received some of them. We should be receiving some, in the next few days or so. So with that, I think our order book would be back to our normal style. Last time we were around 10,000 crores. We are right now at 8,700 crores. So we should be, in a decent level between this and 10,000 crores by 31st March. As far as SEB is concerned, what is now happening is that with large orders coming in from SEBs like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, etc., our business with Power Grid and SEBs has almost become even, which is I think a rare thing. Till now, Power Grid always used to be 70%, SEBs 30%. Now suddenly we are finding that the business between Power Grid and SEBs could be 60-40 or even 50-50.
Okay. Are these new orders coming in at higher margins? If yes, what will be the average margins of the recent order wins, and what will this do to your order, your margins in FY16?
See, these orders are, at least this quarter, most of them are coming now from T&D business, where traditionally the margins have been higher, anything between 8 to 10%. So very clearly that would help us in our margins next year. And I think one of the other reasons why our margins this year have been low is that we had booked significant losses in our new business of infra, which is water and railway, and to some extent in SA Towers, which we had acquired. Now most of the loss-making orders of these businesses are getting closed. So next year we do expect that the margins would be higher by around 150 to 200 basis points is what we have been talking about.
Internationally, you have a lot of exposure to Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, as well as Oman. Given the kind of geopolitical tension that we are seeing in the region, would that be a point of worry, or could we expect that order inflow could remain steady?
It is not a point of worry as of today. Okay, because right now if you look at it, Abu Dhabi, we already are bidding for some more tenders. We have already put in some tenders, results of which are, in fact yesterday there were some results which they have announced. Saudi, we still have almost, I think 3,000 to 4,000 crores of tenders to be quoted in the next 1 month. So as of today, we are not seeing any impact of the oil prices or the geopolitical situation on the tendering processes in these countries. Not at all.
All right, Mr. Kejriwal, unfortunately run out of time. Thanks so much for joining in and throwing some color about the company as well as on the industry. So Q4 is expected to be a strong quarter for the company. Good order inflows, the order pipeline is quite strong, and FY16 should also be a good year for KC International. The management is guiding for margins of 150 to 200 basis points higher. With that, we need to wrap on this show with the news that it's weak for the markets. It's trying to find a bottom around that 8270, 8290 mark, but still below that 8300 mark, and it's a sharp sell-off that we can see in the broader market. The advanced decline ratio has now deteriorated to 1:3.